Hello, Miss Eaton.
Good evening.
Well, can you believe we're beginning the final hurrah?
I know it had to happen, and it's going to be a wild ride, I can promise.
Well, and I think the funny thing is everyone keeps talking about it's the end. We've got a whole season ahead of us, and in Masterpiece terms, there's a lot to still happen.
No kidding. And in Julian Fellowes' terms, there's a lot to still happen. He has a lot of things up his sleeve, which have been up his sleeve for a long time. He's really ready to let them fly.
Well then, tell me this, the Mr. Green storyline, we are all so happy it is resolved finally.
Yeah.
Was that always the plan to resolve it that way, or could it have gone many different ways?
Well, Julian Fellowes will say that he, when he created Downton Abbey 7 years ago, he created this community of characters. And then the first season happened, and then they all got real because the actors inhabited the parts.
Yeah.
So then he began adjusting what he had thought originally the storylines would be to kind of accommodate the actors, who was good at what, and what he felt would be really, like red meat for an actor to perform. So I think that the Anna and Mr. Bates relationship caught on with the audience. And so Julian realized, okay, we've got to work this. The audience likes seeing Anna and Mr. Bates in jeopardy, and boy, have they been.
They have been. Okay, but somebody coming really alive and real. Daisy's getting a little uppity.
Daisy's getting uppity. Daisy learned to read. She's gone to school. She's got a sense of what the world is, aside from being under Mrs. Patmore's thumb in the kitchen. I think she's a wonderful character. I love Sophie McGerra, who plays her.
Yeah.
And she, I think, represents what happened to a lot of young, smart women in those days, which is they understood that a lot of things just weren't right.
Of course, we do have to think about Carson and Hughes and
Yes.
Mrs. Patmore. Kind of a touchy, difficult situation to find yourselves in a conversation to make work.
I love those scenes. They're so beautifully written because they are serious, they are poignant, they're very funny. The comic timing of all the actors having this conversation without actually saying what they're talking about is brilliant. And then in the scene, the scene with Mrs. Patmore and Mr. Carson, when he does understand what she's talking about, and then he kind of makes his pledge about his feelings for Mrs. Hughes. It's just, there's a tear in his eye, and who among us didn't have a tear in our eye? So
I think that sums up, too, what makes Downton so wonderful is
Yes.
that combination
Yeah.
of drama and humor and realness and all of that,
Yeah.
which makes it, I think, much harder for you because now you've got to find something to replace Downton. What are we going to do?
Well, I think we all say, starting with Julian, we'll never replace Downton. How often does lightning strike? You're lucky or unlucky if it strikes once. So it's not finding the next Downton. I think the thing is trying to find something that actually hit all the notes that Downton did.
You have done a wonderful job for us, bringing us these great programs. Thank you for Downton Abbey and all that's still to come. Rebecca Eaton, I cannot thank you enough.
Lovely to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.